Hi guys, it's Mary McIntyre. In my last video I talked about whether I may or may not have caught the Gegenschein. In that video I talked about zodiacal light very briefly. Well, we had a clear night last night and I went out and tried to photograph it and I got it. And it's only the second time that I've ever photographed the zodiacal light. And it's the first time I've actually got the whole cone of the zodiacal light in my shot as well. So just want to tell you a little bit more about that in this video. So first of all, what is zodiacal light? I think I mentioned it briefly in my previous video, but basically between the orbit of the planets, the space between the planets is not empty. It's full of interplanetary dust, and that dust could have come from Mars, from Earth, from the asteroids, from comets. Basically, as stuff moves around, the dust is constantly being replenished, so there is a lot of dust in between all of the planets. But the dust grains are really, really small, so it doesn't really stand out that easily. But at certain times of year when the ecliptic is quite high, you can see this cone of light extending up from the horizon, pointing up towards the Milky Way, and that is the zodiacal light, and it's basically sunlight being forward scattered off that dust. So at the moment from the UK, as soon as it goes dark, if you look in the west and kind of follow the sky up towards the Pleiades, you will see, if you're somewhere very dark, you may see it visually, this kind of really obvious cone of light that is kind of extending up from the horizon. And it's not kind of super bright, but I took a bunch of images and stacked them last night to try and help pick that out a bit more, because I do live on the outskirts of a fairly big city. So I'm going to put the picture here for you to have a look at. So you can see on this picture, again, it's one of those effects that kind of looks a bit better with averted vision, a little bit like my possible Gegenschein, but this is a little bit more obvious. You can see that triangle of paler sky. Again, near the horizon on my picture, there is a lot of light pollution that's bleeding up, and that's coming from the main road, just the other side of that copse of trees. But I basically drove up the hill about a mile outside of our village so that I had absolutely no street lighting around me whatsoever, position myself in a place where I wasn't getting affected by some horrendous outside lighting on the houses up that way, and just pointed my camera kind of west. In the past I've imaged this with my kit lens, and that didn't give me a big enough field of view to get all of it in shot, whereas last night I used my 18 to 55. No, I didn't, that's the kit lens. Last night I used my 10 to 18mm wide angle lens, and just with one frame I was able to get all of the zodiacal light in shot. So this is only a small number of exposures that I've stacked, but it has turned out really nicely, and I did a little bit of tweaking to obviously enhance that, but super excited to have got the zodiacal light. This picture that I've just shown you is the wide field one, but I actually prefer this cropped version here. And this one just looks better because just the positioning of it, the Pleiades is on the third boundary and it's a bit more central, and the zodiacal light cone kind of fills the whole picture. So definitely something you can see. The moon is still out of the way, so if we get any more clear nights in the next few nights in the UK, wait till the moon is set. If it starts to wax and you've got a crescent moon in the sky, soon as the twilight starts to fade, you will notice that triangle of light pointing up towards the Pleiades. So good luck if you try to find it, and if you do see it, let me know in the comments below. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. But